Bernie Sanders has confirmed that he will not, in fact, run for president in 2024 if, and this is a big if, Joe Biden plans on running for re-election himself. Now, Biden has said that he plans to run for re-election, even though when he was running in 2020, he said he would just seek one term. I think we all realized that was BS. But nonetheless, in an interview with CNN, Bernie said, quote, "I think it's a little too early," the Vermont independent who caucuses with Democrats told CNN. When asked if he would back Biden in 2024, "I think Biden will probably run again, and if he runs again, I will support him." Asked if he would run against Biden in a primary, Sanders said, "Not if he runs." I feel like the first part of the conversation made that abundantly clear, but I guess they needed more confirmation on that. Now, again, Biden does plan on running for the, running for re-election in 2024. But Bernie is apparently showing a little more support for Biden than other progressives are showing. In fact, just over the weekend, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was asked a similar question, and here's how she handled that question.
President Biden, he is saying he's going to run again in 2024. Will you support him?
You know, if the president chooses to run again in 2024, I mean, first of all, I'm focused on winning this majority right now and preserving a majority this year in 2022. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I think if the president has a vision, and that's something certainly we're all willing to entertain and examine when the time comes.
That's not a yes.
Yeah, you know, I think we should endorse when we get to it, but I believe that the president has been doing a very good job so far, and should he run again, I think that I think it's we'll take a look at it. Okay. But right now we need to focus on winning a majority instead of a presidential election.
Man, Dana Bash did not like that answer.
Yeah, look, I know, but she might have been focusing on the prompter and stuff, but her facial expressions seem to not like that answer.
Yeah.
But guys, so here's the important parts. Number one, I like AOC's answer a lot better than I like Bernie's answer.
Fascinating.
But number two, so I'm gonna be fair and tell you the bubble that they live in. This is their reality. It's not your reality, it's not my reality. But I'm trying to explain to you though that they genuinely believe this stuff, okay? They really believe like saying that you were not gonna support Biden if he runs again is the biggest crime there is. Like in Washington, that's like, if Bernie had said, well, I'll see, we'll see if I support Biden, everybody's heads would have exploded in Washington. They would have said, you're a monster, you're the worst person on earth, you've betrayed Democrats. Now we won't be able to pass anything. As if they were gonna pass something, as if, right? So you, as a person not living in cuckoo land, which is Washington, D.C., think, well, why wouldn't you support a primary against Biden? He didn't do a single one of the progressive policy proposals that he pretended to be in favor of, not one. In fact, it'd be outrageous if somebody didn't primary him. But in Washington, it's a capital offense. So the fact that AOC wouldn't say yes, frowned upon, greatly frowned upon. So that took courage on her part to say that, so thank you, okay? Now, when it comes to Bernie, I love your brother, but this is the core of Bernie's problem. He cannot, under penalty of law, criticize a fellow Democrat.
Unless it's Hillary Clinton. I think
no, not even then.
In 2016, he did a pretty good job.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. What do you mean, Jay?
He barely laid a glove on her.
No, you're insane.
No, I'm not.
You're having memory loss issues here.
No way.
100%.
No.
During the Democratic primary in 2016, he called out her corruption left and right.
No, he didn't. So look, let me just clearly explain, okay? So look, he couple of times like obliquely mentioned that she gave speeches to banks for direct cash, not even campaign money, cash in her pocket, right? So that's what Anna's referring to. That's calling out the corruption, right? So I'll give you that, right?
Okay.
But when asked in a debate by the same Dana Bash, by the way, in the Brooklyn debate in 2016, it was the critical moment. She said, you say that Hillary Clinton shouldn't have given those speeches, et cetera, but did it affect any of her votes? As usual, I love Bernie, but he blinked and he said no. It's not true. It did affect her vote. It affected her vote in the bankruptcy bill. When she was first lady, She was against it. She wanted to protect students and average Americans. She originally, like a billion years ago, Hillary Clinton was left-wing, right? But through this process, she became more and more and more right-wing through politics and sitting on the board of Walmart, etc. And so by the time she was a senator, she had taken both personal money from the bankers and then tons of campaign contributions. She switched her vote and said, yes, no, you should not get bankruptcy protection. Trump should, rich people should, but if you're a student, you should not get it, okay? And that should be an albatross around your neck for the rest of your life. Joe Biden's the guy who pushed that, and Hillary Clinton voted for it, okay? And Bernie would not call it out. In fact, in that debate, he wound up protecting her by saying no. It just wasn't true. When it comes to, hey, is that person, a Democrat right there, corrupt? Bernie will not say yes under any circumstance, and we can't have it. So I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't support Bernie for another run because he's gonna make that same mistake again and again and again. We saw him just a minute ago call out Lindsey Graham in a debate that Fox held, right? Great, I love it. Finally calling out Republicans by name, right? But calling out a Democrat, you can't, and if you can't call out Democrats in a primary where there's only Democrats, you can't win the primary. It's a zero-sum game. Either you're gonna win or they're gonna win. You have to attack them, not with lies, not with smears, but with facts and reality. And Bernie's not gonna do it. In fact, I'll say one last thing about this. We need an outsider. The Washington bubble is too thick. They have a completely different reality. Every person in that system, if they run in a Democratic primary, will do kid gloves with the other Democrats. Oh, my beloved corporate Democratic colleague who's taken millions and millions from all these corrupt industries, but I won't say anything. No. Because it's more important to be polite to your goddamn colleagues than it is to actually win for progressives and for voters. So we need a complete outsider who doesn't believe in the system at all to come in and go, no, sorry Bernie, sorry everybody else, sorry Biden, but you guys are all corrupt and I'm gonna call it out. And that person will become intensely popular because everybody will go, finally, someone said it. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.